Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. It's your boy, Jim Hacking, and I've got my friend Juli live from Buenos Aires. Juli, how are you doing?
I am doing great. I don't know if you hear a lot of sound. I'm in a coffee house. No,
No, it's
it sounds
fine.
great. It's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Awesome.
Can you hear me okay?
What?
Can you hear me
It,
okay?
oh, I can't hear you now. Hold on. No, sorry, I can't hear you again.
Okay, no worries. I got you. All right, so we just finished our 2022 firm retreat. So we had a 2-day retreat. The first day was down the street at a place called the Lodge of Depair, and then today the second part was here in St. Louis at our our new immigration office. So I'm in the downstairs. You can see that we still have some painting and stuff to do, but we had the whole American team here with us in St. Louis, and most of the Argentinian team was in Buenos Aires. And then we had other people dialing in on Google Meet. So we had some great planning for next year, including our move, which we're moving offices in about 3 weeks from down the street. We're moving 1.1 miles, but we're moving into our own building. If you want to ask me an immigration question today, I'll be here for the full hour, and I'm happy to answer as many questions as I can. This is the 277th episode of the Immigration Answer Show. We're just glad to be here with all of you. I hope you all are doing well. I hope that if you're going through the immigration process, that people are treating you right and that you're not completely frustrated with the process. I'm sure many of you are. If you're in the waiting room and you want to come on camera, I need to make sure that you're there. So please show your face. I call people who have been waiting with their face on first. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and get started. I'll be here today and tomorrow, and I think the rest of the week. I think I'm going to do a show every day the rest of the week. So excited about doing that. And just so everybody knows, I sort of laid out a gauntlet for the team that we're going to try to double in size of our firm next year. So we're going to try to go from handling 1,000 cases to 2,000 cases. So we need you to refer us your friends and family if you can. Let them know that they can always come on here and talk to me. And then if they feel like hiring us, they can give us a call at 314-961-8200. I'm really excited about the things we have planned. And I'm also excited to talk to my new friend, Tommaso. Hi, Tommaso.
Hey, Jim. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Good. Yeah. So I just had the interview for citizenship, and after the interview, the officer gave me a letter saying the decision could not be made yet. He didn't believe my marriage, I guess, and on the second green card, the 10-year green card, I had like a stock interview. And they separate us, but we did it great. We are like together. We are living on the same place, and I'm just wondering, because it's past the 120 days that the timeline, the deadline they give us, and I'm just wondering, what should I do? Should I do the one for 7B, I guess.
Yeah. So where are you from? Brazil?
Yeah.
And when did you come to the United States?
In 2016.
What kind of a visa did you have?
I had tourist visa, and then I changed for the student visa.
Okay. And did you go to school?
Yeah.
And did you graduate?
No, because I was just doing like basic English. I didn't know how to speak when I arrived.
Okay. And then when did you get married?
2018 in the January.
And how long did you know the person that you married before you married them?
For like a year.
Okay. And how do you know that you did a good job in your Stokes interview? How do you know that your answers matched?
Because she gave me the green card right away. after she separated us, she interviewed her, and then she brought me to her office, and then she interviewed me again, and then she gave me the green card right away.
Okay. And so you applied for citizenship on this 3-year rule?
Yes.
Why do you think, what makes you think that she doesn't like your marriage?
On the interview, the officer just said that he didn't ask me that much questions. He just keep looking his computer, and then he said he made all the tests. I did all the tests, the English test, the civil tests, reading and writing, and I passed on the test. And then on the end of the interview, he said he didn't believe I was married, and he gave me this paper, and you have a good day.
Did he ask you for more marital evidence? Did they
No,
send
he
you a
didn't.
request?
For,
Yeah. So what was the date of your naturalization interview? When did it happen? You said more than 120 days ago?
yeah, was July 28th of July.
Which field office?
San Diego.
Yeah, so if we filed a lawsuit, they'll give you a decision in 2 months or less. I think that would be a good one to file a lawsuit on, for sure.
And if I do file the lawsuit, they can do another interview with both of us, like another stock interview.
For sure they could.
They usually do this. What they usually?
Usually they issue a decision, but sometimes they come to your house to see if you're sleeping in the same bed. Sometimes they call you in for another interview. Sometimes they call you in for a Stokes interview. All those things are possible.
Got it. Okay. Thank you for that, Jim. And thank you for your work.
You're welcome, Tommaso. See you, buddy. Let me know if you want to sue him, okay?
Thank you.
All right. I saw some good news in the chat. Where's my man, Dwight Scott? Says, Dwight, hi, Jim. I just want to let you know that I'm now a U.S. citizen. Good job, Dwight. Congrats. Everyone's happy for you. That's fantastic. Everyone's giving Dwight a shout out. Everyone's happy for Dwight, including Hooley. Good job, Dwight. That's awesome. All right, all right. Let's say hello to Kapil. Are you with us? Hi, Kapil.
Hi, Jim. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Jim. So my question is, I'm on F1 visa and my STEM OPT is ending end of December, so 30th December. Yeah. And I filed marriage-based AOS 5-6 months ago. Haven't heard back on it. Now my lawyer is saying enroll in whatever degree, wherever, but do not wait and do not bank on this case. Just carry on with your life with after your interview, and even based on how the interview goes. And the best thing is wait for the green card and not look forward for EAD. So should I really do that?
Kapil, my internet bounced out for a minute. So you're telling me that you're at the end of your STEM OPT, that you have a marriage-based adjustment of status case on file, that it's been on file for about 6 months, you haven't received your work card, and your lawyer is telling you to keep on your F1?
Until I get the green card in hand. So don't use the EAD.
Yeah, I mean, technically that's like that's if I put on a spectrum from 0 to 100, where 100 is being as safe and conservative as possible, and 0 is being as reckless as possible, that seems like way out here, past conservative. Like that seems very, very conservative. What that tells me is they're not confident that your green card is going to be approved.
No, he's confident.
Well, then he's just really, really careful.
Yeah.
So yeah. So from a pure immigration standpoint, the best thing to do is to assume your green card is going to get denied, assume you're never going to get your work card, and assume that if you do get your work card, you shouldn't use it because that would be a technical violation of your F1.
Yeah. The second thing is, so as you know, there are colleges that will let me work from day one.
Yeah.
He's fine with me joining even them. so I can continue work. Otherwise, I'll lose my job the day my STEM OPT ends.
Mhm.
And that will be loss
Um,
of income and everything. And for months and months, processing times are long. Maybe the
I'm-
suggestion to not use EAD was good when processing times were 6-8 months. Now they are too long.
I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of first day CPT. I think that actually invites much more scrutiny than if you were to get an EAD off the marriage adjustment and
He-
start working on that.
He's saying that would be a problem if I was an H-1B applicant, not in this case.
Well, I don't get it because no. If you go to a CPT mill and it's a shady CPT school, that can hurt you on a marriage-based case. That's not true.
That can hurt me on marriage in this case.
Yeah, because just think of yourself right now, Kapil. You've got a nice, clean immigration history, right? And this is a curious thing, a curious conversation to be having, because on the one hand, this lawyer is encouraging you to be as conservative as possible on whether or not to use your AOS EAD. But on the other hand, they're telling you, yeah, go to a CPT mill and start first day CPT. I think that's worse.
He's saying it's better to do that than not continuing F1. He's not saying go there. He's saying if you can't afford a expensive STEM degree, then go learn Spanish, go to a community college, go learn English.
I'm okay with
sort of
that.
thing.
Yeah, I'm
You're
okay with that. I think it's overkill, but I'm okay with that. Sure.
Okay. Yeah. And last question. So how long do you think is long enough to wait? So I'm in Chicago. The processing time for I-485 here is 14 months. You think right at the end of 14 months, I should contact you to file that case that
Yeah.
that you have your
Hopefully you won't have
expertise?
to. Hopefully you
Okay.
won't have to. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Jim. Looking
Thanks,
forward.
Kapil. See you, buddy. All right. That was our friend Kapil up in Chicago. Hey, got a nice compliment on the diet. Yeah. So I'm going to see my weight loss coach tomorrow, and I'm going to be right around 68 pounds, 70 pounds. Tomorrow I'm supposed to hit 209, and I started at 279. So I'm feeling great. I'm off all my high blood pressure medicine. I'm off my cholesterol medicine, and I even slept through the night without my Tylenol PM. So I'm feeling great. I'm working out every day. I'm feeling good. So thanks for that, Jason. All right, let's say hi to Ashkan. Hi, Ashkan.
How are you today?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. So I have a quick question. So I had an appointment with USCIS last week. I applied for my dad. I'm a US citizen, and my dad have some medical issues. He needs to have emergency travel. So we went to the office and we just request to have some document to traveling, and the officer told us we can issue you 30 days emergency travel document. And because I talked to the doctor, I had the document with me to present to the officer, and the doctor said 1 month is not enough, and the officer offered us I can expedite your I-131 your, because I already applied for adjustment of status for my parents for work permit and the travel document. So the officer told me that another option is we can just expedite your process, and you have to wait about 1 week, 2 weeks, and maybe they issue a travel document which is valid for 1 year and multiple entry. So I want to know, is there any difference if I request expedite, or if they just if the USCIS officer do it at the office? Is there any difference between if I do it online or just they do it under internal networking? I don't know how it works or how long it takes to respond to the travel document, because my dad needs surgery and he needs to do it as soon as possible. Yeah.
So first of all, sorry about Dad. I hope he makes a full recovery. When did he apply for his green card and his AP?
May.
Okay. And he got fingerprinted, but nothing since then?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've watched this show before, but I'm not a big believer in expediting, because I don't believe them when they say they'll expedite it, right? So It sounds like you don't really have a choice, though, other than to go the expedite route, because if they were willing to give him a month, but Doc says a month won't work, then it seems like you have to go for the whole enchilada, the true advanced parole with the year and like you said, the multiple entries. So I think you just got to sort of take him at their word and cross your fingers that he's going to get the expedite based on the evidence that you have. If you have an officer at the local field office that says they're willing to go to bat for you to try to push that through, that's good. Otherwise, if you're just applying online, you're just one of a zillion people asking for expedite. So I would try to go internally if you can.
Yeah, so I have no idea. So because I didn't today, I just received an email around noon about we receive your expedite, but it was a wrong. The expedite request was for work permit, because we didn't request expedite for the work permit. We request expedite for travel document. I don't know why they
Because they're
said.
idiots. That's why they're idiots. That's why.
Yeah. So do you think do I get any update to this week or next week, or I have no idea? Do I need to call them again?
You can keep calling them. I mean, the other thing you could do is you could sue them for advanced parole. We could get it probably in about 5 or 6 weeks, but that'd be as fast as it would work.
Because I have to see. Hopefully, I get any update this week or next week, or because they try to issue me 30 days parole, but that's not gonna enough for that procedure. Yeah.
Well, I guess you're just waiting then to see what happens.
Yeah, that's all I can do at this time. Yeah.
Thanks, Ashkan. See you, buddy.
Bye.
All right, let's say hi to Clara. Hi, Clara. How
Hi.
are you?
So first of all, I want to thank you for doing this streaming.
Sure.
And well, my question is, so I got my work permit approved. It was really quick. It was a month and 1 week. And so I'm kind of worried because I've heard that. Oh, and my type of benefit that I'm trying to get, it's adjustment of status, a petition of my spouse. And I'm kind of worried because I've heard that they try to like make things faster in order that you don't get time to get more documents of evidence. So I don't know if you can like, I don't know, tell me if I should worry, if I should like, I don't know, what should I do? Because I mean, apparently it's a good thing, but I'm not sure.
I think 100% it's a good thing. I don't think you need to worry.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I think that the Biden team is trying to make things better, and they do this weird thing, Clara, where they, instead of going to the people whose cases have been, their EADs have been waiting 6 or 7 months, instead of fixing that, they say, well, we want to stop the bleeding and we don't want other people to get in that 6 months. So we'd rather have one happy Clara than an angry Clara and an angry Jim from 6 months ago, right? So why not at least keep one happy? I think that's sort of the mindset. And the other thing is they're so clueless right now, Clara, that I think it's almost impossible to think that they're so smart that they can say, oh, we're really going to screw over Clara. We're going to give her EAD fast so that she can't get a lot of marital evidence in time for her green card. Now, I don't think that they're that smart, but at the same time, you need to now take that EAD, and if you just got your social security number, then start opening accounts with your spouse and using it to maximize this time you're going to get until your interview. What field office will handle your interview?
I'm not pretty sure, but I think that it's the Kansas Missouri, Kansas.
Kansas City. Yeah. So when did you file the green card application? Like a month and a half ago?
Yeah. So I received the received notice on October 3rd, and I just got the approval on last Thursday. So it was like 1 month, basically.
I mean, at the very least, you got 3 more months or so for your interview. It might even be a whole other year. So do all the right things, get the marital evidence together. Do you have our list of marital evidence that you should start gathering?
No, I will send an email so I can
Yeah, you can download it. If you go to hackinglawpractice.com/marital-evidence,
okay.
Huli can put it in the comments or on the screen, but you can go there and download it for free and then just start opening up accounts with you and your spouse so that you have 2 or 3 months or 9 months of evidence when the time comes.
Okay. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Bye, Clara. All right, that was Clara. Let's say hi to Canardo. Hi, Canardo.
Hey Jim, what I wanted to ask you, right? Like basically, like I spoke to you in the past regarding getting my adjustment of status done, and what I wanted to do was you said that it would be best for me and my partner to like file like a joint tax return, and I
Yeah.
was wondering if we should just like file for this year or like for all 3 years.
Have you been married all 3 years?
No.
Yeah, you can only do it for the years you were actually married.
Okay, then cool, no problem. All right, so that's all that I wanted to ask you. And I will be filing with your law firm around next year, but like we were trying to like build our marriage evidence and all of that.
When did you get married?
September the 27th.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you need to wait too long to develop. I mean, they understand that you have a limited amount of marital evidence at the beginning. The expectation is just that you'll have more when you get to the interview. So I wouldn't wait to file just to get more evidence. You can do that later.
Okay, then cool, no problem. All right, because I spoke to Ramel and everything, and like we also like I got like my contract and everything. So yeah.
Cool.
Okay,
Thanks,
then, so
Canardo.
thanks, dude. Okay, bye.
See you, buddy.
Bye.
Right, that was Canardo. Sounds like he's getting his act together. He's getting all of his evidence that he needs. So that's good. That's good. Hey, if you haven't already, go ahead and leave us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know if you've talked to one of our awesome intake specialists. Let us know. Give them a shout out in the comments. That would be great. Juli's going to check with Ramel to see if he can follow up with Canardo. That'd be great. I like the look of that Canardo. I think he's going to be a fun guy to work with. That seems like he's on top of things. All right, let's say hi to DW. DW, you're not driving, are you? You're on mute, as Juli likes to say. Can you hear me? It's those headsets, man.
Can you hear me now, or are you not hearing me now?
Yep, I got you, DW.
Yeah,
Go
I'm
ahead.
hearing you. Are you hearing me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is a quick. Well, I'm not sure how quick it is actually. I'm actually surprised that I was even chosen. But the thing is, if you have a previous immigration violation, so that you had worked in the U.S. on your B1, B2 visa in the past, however, you were issued a bar. You were issued a bar for 5 years actually, and you did 10 outside of the U.S. However, your new situation is you're being filed for by your spouse. You're being petitioned for by your spouse now. You went through every process. However, when you got to the embassy just to do the interview so that they could issue a visa for you to leave, that's when they, upon questioning, they denied it because they said that I violated a 90-day rule. Meaning they said that because when I was admitted to the US at the time, I unclear of this. I didn't know anything about this rule. It was the first time hearing about it. The lawyer that I was working with this entire time, I was never advised about that before. So they gave me 1 year for the case to remain open and for me to file a waiver.
That's some BS, man. So it sounds like, did you get caught at customs coming through? Is that how they figured out you were working, or how in the world did they figure out that you were working shortly after you arrived. That's a strange thing for them to know.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, because that's all right. So that's the thing. That's the thing about it. When I arrived at the US, that's the moment they came to me with like my picture in their hand, and there was two guys there. They escorted me off the plane, and I really thought that I was really in some big trouble because upon coming off the airplane, they called my name. They took me to the front of the line, and it was doing that questioning, the secondary questioning.
This must not have been
That's
your
when
first.
they
This must not have been your first entry into the United States. I'm guessing. I'm guessing you'd been here already and worked, and then you came back. Is that what happened?
yeah, I'd previously held like a few J1 visas from my time in college. So it wasn't my first time traveling to the US. So I've been through that process before. However, when I got the B1 and the B2 like visiting visa, it was actually my out of all the time that I've traveled on that visa, it was actually the first time ever that I actually worked on it. It was literally only for a month. I've never done anything outside of that visa until that one time that really happened.
Wait.
So
Hold
much so
on,
that when I was
hold on. I just want to make sure. So
yeah,
around when did you get your B1, B2 visa? Around when?
I actually got it yeah, actually that was from I think I got it in 2010.
Okay.
I got it
You got it in 2010. Okay. And then you entered the United
in
States and started.
2010. Um yeah, yes, and I've traveled to the States a few summers because of the J1 visa,
Right.
because I did a work and travel program when I was going to university.
Right. But then after you got your B1, B2,
So that's what happened.
you came and worked on your B1, B2, right?
Yes, I did.
And then customs figured out that you were working. They came and got you right when you landed the next time. And then they gave you a 5-year bar and took you
Yes.
home.
Yes, they did.
And then you did the 5-year
And
bar. You did 10 years, as you said, outside the United States. And
10 years, yeah.
now they're saying you need a waiver.
Yeah, they're saying that I need a I-601 waiver
I think you might have already
because
told me. I think you might have already told me, but what embassy is this? This sounds like bullshit.
pardon me?
What embassy?
Kingston, that's Jamaica.
Yeah.
Kingston,
So,
it's in Jamaica, Kingston,
Mhm.
Jamaica. Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, if they say you need a waiver, then you probably need a waiver, but just because they're the ones that have the keys to the kingdom. But
Yeah.
do you feel like you have the basis for hardship? Are you gonna be able to show hardship to your spouse?
The tricky thing about hardship is that I mean we are experiencing hardship. Actually, we have been experiencing hardship for some time now because we're apart, and because of the COVID situation really dragged the whole process out so much that it really put us in a financial bind because the process it dragged out so long, and it was like the hardest thing was trying to figure out what moves to make when you're actually waiting on something like this. So opportunities weren't forthcoming more than just focusing on getting through. So we have been experiencing a lot of financial hardship, mentally as well, because we had a baby. We were expecting a child together. She lost that baby, and that has affected her as well. And it has been a lot, but it's knowing like what do they expect from us that they consider as hardship on their end, you know. That's
Well,
that's the difficulty.
and so, first of all, let me say that we'd be happy to look at this case. It seems like a very strange timeline, and it seems like maybe there's some miscommunication going on. I don't know. But as far as, you have to show exceptional hardship. So it's not just regular hardship of having a spouse not allowed into the United States. It has to be exceptional. So it has to be something that you being outside the United States really produces extra hardship. So health issues, financial issues, certainly the miscarriage of a baby would help the case, as sad as that is. So I think this is something that you can get the waiver, but it's going to take a lot of work.
Yep.
And for some reason, it sounds like they're not treating you very well.
No, because if I to be honest with you, I hate being that kind of individual that would like basically say that I was treated wrongfully because I don't really know what they expect. But honestly, I don't, for lack of a better term, I was really like the person who interviewed me. You would believe that it was personal to how I felt so attacked while I was at the window speaking to her, and it felt so personal because I was like, I was wondering what did I do to her because she was literally going at me, and I was like, it was so intimidating that I was just at a loss because I did not anticipate that much pushback because I swore that because I did my time, they already knew the violation that I committed. So it wouldn't make any sense for me to be lying or deviate from what was already there. So I was just being forthright and saying, yes, that was a mistake. I was younger. I was ill-advised because I was ill-advised when I was younger, but I know they probably don't care about that. But she didn't care. She just literally like, and I heard that it's something that was discretionary too, so maybe she didn't necessarily have to, but she just did not care. She just went at it, and she even at one point just slammed the blinds that they have at the window. She even slammed the blind down in my face while I was speaking, trying to explain to her that like this is my entire life right here. Because you're with your wife, you're with your spouse, and it's like being that you're so many miles away, you're trying to be as helpful and as caring and as nurturing and as possible. But over the years, it took so many toll on the both of us in every way possible. And to know that you come to the finish line thinking that this is it, finally I can live my life with my human being who can literally tell you how far you are able to go in this life. It
I think
hurts.
you need some help. I don't think you're gonna be able to pull this off on your own. I think it's an interesting case. We'd be happy to try to help you if you want to call the office.
Yeah.
I think that's really unfair the way you were treated. I think they're up to something on your case. That lady clearly didn't treat you fairly, so I think you're going to need some help.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely seek that help, and I hope that I could speak privately too as well, if that is possible, and we can
Yeah,
probably delve more into the situation.
yeah,
So
yeah. Reach
I
out to the
will.
office. Reach out to the office. Send us your documents, and then you can talk to one of our attorneys. Okay. Thanks, DW.
I thank you.
Bye, buddy. That sucks, but I believe it. Hi, Fitness.
Hey,
How are you?
thank you, Jim, for what you're doing. We actually working with the lawyer right now, and we filed. She actually did a lot job for us to take us out of the court because I had asylum previously, and they was denied that after I submitted marriage based, and court was finalized, decision was made, everything was fine. They submitted everything to the USAs, and it's under administrative closure. What's weird, the point right now, she's literally doesn't know what to do. Like she explained that there is a file or something, and she doesn't know how actually request that from general attorney. And we stuck over year. It's we submitted the I-485 in May 2020, and like
So,
nothing.
so you applied for asylum. Asylum office denied it. Referred you to the immigration court.
They denied it after I submitted I-485 based on marriage.
Okay.
Right away,
Let's get the timeline. When did you enter the United States?
October 2016.
When did you apply for asylum?
It was January 2017.
And did you have an interview on your asylum case?
Yes, sir.
When was that?
It was December 2017.
Okay. And then when did you get married?
November 2019.
And up until that point, they had not ruled on your asylum case.
Nothing. I was just
so
applied for employment authorization, and that was fine. Like, no
You
problem.
married a U.S. citizen,
Yes, sir.
and the U.S. citizen filed an I-130, and you filed a 485.
Yes, and they
When did
approved him like 3 months after they approved his one I-30.
When did that happen?
It was 2020, I believe, March or February, something like that.
March is when you applied, or March is when the I-130 got approved?
Wait a second. When we did it, we applied first for one I-30,
You
and
filed the
that
I-130
was
separately. Yeah, that would make sense because you were in
yes.
removal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then the I-130 got approved, and then you went to the immigration court and said, "Hey, can you terminate?" And did they terminate, or did they admin close?
They terminated. And judge
Okay.
was approved termination, and general attorney, everybody. So my lawyers
So then,
have these papers.
did you file for the 45 before the judge terminated or after?
Before.
Yeah, that was the mistake. You terminate first, then you file the 45. Otherwise, you get caught in this hellhole where nobody knows where your file is. Did USCIS admin close your 485?
Mm-hmm.
And so now you can't get anyone to reopen it and adjudicate the 485.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you should sue them. If the judge terminated, then if you sue them, you'll get an interview in about 2 months, and then you'll get your green card, hopefully, if it's approved a month or so later. So this is a good case to file a lawsuit on.
Okay. I have expired passport, and this is only one what I have with stamp that I was get in the country with admission. Should I renew this passport or keep it?
You should get your green card and then worry about your passport.
Then what? All right.
Mhm.
The question about one I-31, the lawyer actually they filed this form for me, and they made a
Yeah.
typo in. They did it like months ago. This typo, is it something serious, or we just should forget about that and go for
Have you received
litigation?
it?
Not yet. It's just months ago we filed.
Yeah. I don't know. I would just focus on the green card.
Another question there was, I'm just asking over average. Can any bad letters from attorney work on your like immigrant? Like if they file for you say yes, like, hey, this guy or this girl, they just try and do fraud or something. Can these letters be actually harmful for cases?
That's a very strange question. Why do you ask me that?
Because there was situation before I've hired this attorney. I was tried with another attorney, and I decided last minute doesn't work with them, and I was requested for a refund. As we didn't sign retainer yet, she said, I will not pay you. And when I started to insist, like, hey, I'm single mom, I need money right now, and all of that stuff, they said, we will file for state attorney the letter that you are trying to get to the fraud. I never been married, anything, but I don't know if they sent, but they say they sent something. Is it something can harm your?
Number one, damn it. They wouldn't send that to immigration. If they sent that to immigration, they'd get in big trouble.
Sorry, connection was lost. You said it's not harmful if they even will try to send.
I don't think if they send it to them, you could get them. If they sent that letter to USCIS, you could get their law license. They would get in a huge amount of trouble. I'm almost sure that they didn't do that.
They said they sent it to state attorney.
Yeah, so that's fine. That's not going to come back. That's not going to come back on you.
My husband recently was quit the job due to safety reasons. If we're gonna to the litigation process, we will need sponsor, right? To be approved for green card, we need sponsor.
Sure.
Correct?
Yep.
Or if he will show his previous W-2 for previous year, it will not work. We need like current year.
We'll ask for proof of current employment.
All right, so previous year will work still.
No, he's going to need a co-sponsor. They're going to want pay stubs showing that he's still making that money.
If we're going with this litigation process, preparation the couple for actual interview, is it extra money? Like we should pay for that.
Yep.
It is time and all of these checks for our papers, blah blah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's one thing to do the lawsuit. It's another thing to take over the underlying green card case. We don't take over the case on a lawsuit unless it's a separate deal.
Sorry, didn't understand. Separate deal. What do you mean?
So if someone hires us to do the lawsuit, we do the lawsuit. But if they also want us to be their green card lawyer with USCIS to prep them for the interview,
That's
go
separate.
to the interview, that's separate. Mm-hmm.
How much it can cost? Separate this for green card.
Usually
So I understand already lawsuit. It's $5,000. What about
like
the preparation?
Usually like $3,000.
All right. So total 8. Gotcha. Thank you, Jim.
See ya.
Thank you.
A lot of good questions. Thanks for the call. All right. Let's say hi to Kosi. Hi. Oh, Kosi's locked up. Let's say hi to Amir. Amir's locked up. All right. We're having some technical issues. Please stand by. Kosi's there. Hi, Kosi. You're on mute.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jim, for having me.
Of course.
Yeah, I have a question about my cousin case, and I want to explain you the case. My cousin mom came to United States in 2005. She applied for asylum, and she was granted. So my cousin too was granted. But when my cousin went back home to do his passport, because his mom they tried to catch him before she left. They seized all these papers. Tell him to go call his mom before they give him the travel document like a passport. So he stayed back home until he find a way he used his cousin, our another cousin paper passport to come to United States. So when he get here, he was arrested in the airport at Dallas, and he went to jail for 2 weeks, and they released him on parole or something, I don't know. So to 2015, he applied for asylum, and they're supposed to have the case done on 2019-20. Because of the COVID, they send another, that will be 2000, the next hearing will be 2023. Yeah, next year.
For immigration court.
Yeah, from immigration court.
Okay.
By the way, since that day, he found a girl here. He married a girl. They have 2 kids. And now I'm very fun about what we are doing. And we don't know now if the ladies have to file for I-30 for him, or he have to wait for the asylum case to be done. And because the lawyer say his case is very good for the asylum because he was accepted before by asylum before he cannot come, and they know that his mom have a history with people back home. So it's a good case to be like the percentage for him to win is high. And before he came here let me explain to you, our cousin paper he used, the cousin was married. And when I was watching your show, you say everything you say before you get here, you are scared that even the wife applied for him, that will be issue for the green card because they can think that he married back home before came here. So we don't know really what to do about that thing.
I was totally with you until all of a sudden you popped up with this marriage back home. Where does that piece come in? That's a new piece.
Oh no, I say they married back home because he used somebody, our cousin passport to come here because he cannot use his own passport. But the cousin passport, the documentation he give to the embassy over there say that he was married back home before get here.
Right. So okay. So my real name on Earth is John, and I have a cousin named Jim. I use Jim's passport, and when I got my visa under Jim's name, I told him that I was married, even though I, John, have never been married back in my home country. Like that.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Kosi, here's the thing. This is an effed up, complicated case. I can't tell you for sure. I can't give like real legal advice on something this complicated without looking at everything. But that being said, I can say that generally, a lot more is going to be forgiven on the asylum case than would be on the green card case. On the green card case, he's just someone who entered the United States as on a fake passport for somebody else, who made claims of marriage. I mean, that just seems a whole lot messier. I think that it's much more likely to be forgiven by an immigration judge. But I mean, who knows which immigration judge the person has? They might have a judge who denies 95% of asylum cases, or they might have a judge who grants 95% of asylum cases. So nobody knows. But generally, your cousin is going to be forgiven much more on the asylum route than on the marriage-based route. Plus, if you get married while you're in removal, that's presumed to have been to get an immigration benefit. So you have to prove the case by a higher standard. So the lawyer's probably right.
Yeah, he's living with his wife more than 5 years. They are living in the same apartment. They have 2 kids, they buy car and everything the same. They have everything the same. Like, yeah, it's very rare. They have a big wedding here. They have all those pictures. They travel a lot, all those things too. So
I mean, the one thing, Kosi, is that there's no rule that says they can't operate on both tracks, right? Like they could, the spouse could file an I-130 petition today, right? So I think that might be definitely something smart, because if nothing else, establishing that relationship that he's married to a U.S. citizen, that's going to be helpful in lots of ways.
Okay, so you advise us to file for I-30 first and waiting for the immigration court, right?
Yeah. Now, certainly not doing this without, they got to do this with an attorney. They can't do this on their own.
Yeah, the number we sent to have this appointment is the same number we have to call to contact your office.
No, that's a different number. Here, I'll put the phone number.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Thank you. In that case, so when we file the I-30, he have to wait. He don't have to file the adjustment status right away because he have a case in immigration court, right?
Right.
Okay. And that when he filed the 130, he's supposed to file through the travel document, or he have to wait for everything, just the I-30.
He's not going anywhere. Just the I-130. Don't leave.
Okay.
All right, cool. Kosi. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jim.
Have a good day, my friend.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. All right. Let's say hi to Amir. Amir, how are you? You're on mute.
Can you hear me now? I spoke to you about like a month ago. I don't know if you remember me. I'm from Canada. Probably not. So basically, I was just asking at the time. I'm applying for a marriage-based green card. I applied on July 29th, and about like 2 weeks ago, I received basically the EAD. I got the travel document. I got my social security number.
Was it a combo card? Card?
No, it was weird because I got the work permit, and then like 3 days later, I got approved for the travel document. So I don't know why they didn't just do it. I guess they don't do it anymore. But yeah, I got it pretty quick. It was like 2 months process. And my question is, I'm traveling to Canada in a little bit. I have the travel document. It's just sometimes you hear things like saying, "Oh, you shouldn't travel with it, and it's risky or whatever." Is it like, in your opinion, like, do you think I could travel with it?
What was your status before you applied for adjustment?
I just was on a visitor. I was a visitor visa.
So when did you enter?
I entered on May 20th, but I got married before that. So what happened was I got married April 20th. I left, and then I came back a month later, and then I started the whole process. But then I didn't file anything until July 29th.
So you entered the United. What's the date of your marriage?
Sorry?
What's the date of your marriage?
April 22nd.
And before April 22nd, when was the last time you had entered the United States? How much time between when you entered and April 22nd?
It was like a few days, like 3 days. But before that, I was going back and forth. I was a student in the States, so I was going back and forth anyways before that. So I was like coming in and out multiple times.
But just to be clear, you entered on like April 18th and you got married on April 21st or 22nd.
Yeah.
So that's a problem. They're going to give you trouble about that.
Oh, really?
And then you left, and then you came back in June or July and applied.
Yeah, in like May 20th.
And then when did you apply for adjustment?
July 29th.
Yeah, I think you're going to have some explaining to do at your green card interview. I don't know that they're going to like all this.
Oh, okay. Is it because of the dates?
Yeah, it's always about the dates. Everything's about the timeline. That's why every call that comes on here, I always try to get a rough timeline. The problem for you is that you have that 60-day rule that if you enter the United States and get married within 60 days, then they presume you had immigrant intent. So even though you came and left, like that'll help, but you're going to have to be super prepared for your green card interview, because they're going to try to make you look like a sneaky person.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're going to say, yeah, you went back to Canada and then you came back and then you waited 60 days and then you applied for adjustment. But they're not going to like all these entries and exits and getting married and applying all in the same year. That's sort of unusual. So you're going to have to be super dialed in. You're going to have to be able to talk about every interaction that you had with customs, because they're going to say you lied to get into the country.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, to your credit, all the prior trips and entries and exits and all that stuff, that helps. But I think overall you're going to have a little bit of a problem. So then going to your question about travel, my answer to that is we've already traveled a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like all these interactions with customs officials. I mean, because those same questions that can be asked of you at your green card interview could be asked
At the border
by a CBP official when you try to come back. Small chance, but big problems if it doesn't go right.
Okay, so they could just deny me entry just because of those reasons, possibly.
They could, or they could just give you shit, and I don't know. They can't. I don't think they can revoke your advance parole. They can try to cause mischief. And more importantly, I'm more for me, the whole shoot match is the green card. So for going one last trip until you get your green card, that's sort of where I'm going to end up.
Mm-hmm. So you wouldn't basically advise me to do that then?
I want you to have as few interactions with the federal government until you get your green card. That's my vote.
Okay. All right. That sounds good then. All right.
Thanks
a lot. Appreciate it.
Keep us posted. See you, man. All right. That was Amir. Let's say hi to Stan. Hi, Stan. You're on mute. There you go.
Hello, Jim. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I recently just tuned into your channel. I'm watching from Germany, Europe. And nice. I do have a question, which is a bit tricky for me since I do not understand the system so well.
Okay, go for it.
So the thing is that in 2018, I had a B1, B2 visa, which I used then to visit the United States. And for some reason, I got married. And
for some reason you got married. That's a funny thing to say. Wait, what passport do you have? Where are you from?
I'm Nigerian originally.
Okay, and did you get your visa inside Nigeria, or did you get it in Germany or somewhere else?
I got it in Hungary. So I'm based in Europe, and I travel quite a lot in Europe.
Okay.
So when I made the statement, for some reason I got married. That is because it wasn't planned that I was to get my marriage done in the United States.
Okay.
So, but it happened. We're excited, beating families and all of this, so we decided to go ahead with it. All right. So I had to turn in my passport to the embassy in DC, the Hungarian embassy. My spouse is from Hungary, Budapest.
But a U.S. citizen.
No, not a U.S. citizen.
Not a U.S. citizen.
Not a U.S. citizen. Yeah. And so it took the embassy, the Hungarian embassy, quite some time to return back my passport. And my visa was for the period of 2 years. And little did I know that I had a period of time to stay in this 2 years time frame. So I got married and I got my passport back. I returned back to Europe, Germany, where I'm based. And ever since, I never visited the United States.
How much time were you in the United States on that trip? How much time were you in the United States total?
For 7 months.
So you were only supposed to be there for 6 months?
Well, so here's the thing. 2 weeks ago, I went to the embassy here, the U.S. embassy here in Germany, to renew my visa so I can visit again.
Yeah.
And then I was told that I cannot be issued a renewal of the visa because I overstayed my time in the U.S.
Yep.
So I was confused and I asked, how is this? And they said, I mentioned to the Homeland Security upon arrival that I was going to stay for 3 months. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, yes, I said so because that was the intended plan, but things took a different turn that made me stay a bit longer and my passport was held. So in this situation, it wasn't a deliberate act that I wanted to stay any longer than 3 months.
That's not what they say. That's not what they say. A deliberate act is someone deciding to stay longer than they're supposed to. You had a reason for it, but it's still a deliberate act not to leave on time. I mean, the fact is, when you entered the United States, the most they would have given you, the most they could give you is 6 months. So they're not going to get in. They're not going to get involved in the business of, oh my gosh, the Hungarian embassy in the United States held on to his passport for too long, so therefore we should forgive him. I mean, you're operating from several assumptions that I don't think are correct. Number one is they don't want to give you a visa. It's not like Stan, they're treating you fairly, right? It's not like they're looking for ways to make it easier for Stan to get his visa. They're looking for ways to make it harder for Stan to get his visa. So your mindset's not right. The mindset's not, oh, well, as long as I, do what I'm supposed to do, they're going to give me a visa. Most visit visas are denied. And when you hand them something on a silver platter by overstaying your visa by at least a month and 4 months longer than you said you were going to stay, that's like a no-brainer. They're not going to give you another visa. So nothing that you're telling me is surprising.
Mm-hmm. So right now, they told me that they couldn't renew the visa and said when next I try to apply, I would have to explain myself. Yeah. And that is all they said to me without giving me any form of guidance to what sort of explanation do I have to explain, and what does that mean for me if I can go tomorrow to reapply again for the visa. So I'm not really sure about what they meant in this sense.
So don't apply for another 6 months. You got to let time settle from this denial. Mm-hmm. Number two, you can do your best job possible of explaining it. You could give them a timeline of what happened with the Hungarian embassy, but still, I don't think they're going to give you the visit visa, because there's one more piece of this that we haven't talked about, and that is that right now they are actively persecuting men from Nigeria and not giving them visas. So there's just all kinds of reasons why I don't think you're getting another visit visa to the United States, not anytime soon.
Okay. All right. That is all I have to ask because I was just confused. I do have my permanent residency here in Europe, so I have a job and my life is just here. I
Yeah.
only visit from
I
now
think
and
I think if you do apply, I'd let some dust settle 3, 4, 5, 6 months. And then I would make sure to give them a very firm timeline of everything that happened and explain why you didn't leave on time. But even like this is a case I would never take, Stan, because I could say, Stan, pay me $3,000. I'm going to write the best affidavit of all time. I'm going to tell the best story ever. And even if I did all that stuff, I still think it's going to get denied. So that's why I would never take that case.
Okay, I do have all documentations to prove the
Yeah,
timeline.
I believe
anyways.
I believe you. They're just assholes.
Yeah. All right. So, but this doesn't mean that because I read an article that says when you have such situations like this, that there's a chance that you shouldn't apply for the next 3 years or something like this.
Oh no, I wouldn't wait 3 years. I'd take a shot in 6 months.
All right. Okay. I just needed to know that I'm good in a sense that if I wanted to apply again, that I could do so.
Everybody can apply. Whether you're going to get it or not is a different thing.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the time.
Bye, Stan. See you, buddy. All right, everybody. That'll do it for today's show. I will be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central. That'll be episode number 279, I think. Yep, 278. Tomorrow's 278. So we'll be back tomorrow. We're going to try to hit 300 by the end of the year here. So going to try to do some good shows. Going to try to get our numbers up to 300, 350 watching when we go live. Kamel, I'd be happy to file a writ of mandamus for you. Everybody else, thanks for tuning in. Have a great night, and we will see you tomorrow night.